and I decided to take an overnight trip, and we headed up Kern Canyon and started up on Paddlesack Trail. And we got about 2 miles in and found an amazing camp spot. And his old mom was tired and worn out and out of shape. And so we decided, instead of going down the falls and camping, that we would camp here, rest a little bit, and then go explore the cave, and then maybe even walk down to the falls, which is, I think, several miles down the road. So I don't know if we'll make it down there for sure or not, but hopefully. But now at least we won't have to hike all our gear down there and then hike it all the way back up, because getting up out of the canyon was no joke. Luke started us a fire. I'm not going to tell you how he did it. Let's just say he didn't use a lighter or matches or sticks. It's Sunday morning, and I am obviously not waking up on Paddlesack Cave Trail. I went to bed on the trail in a campsite in a tent, but I did not wake up at 1. So let me fill you in on the happenings of last night. So Luke and I put the fire out pretty early. We go crawling our tent around 7:30ish maybe. We're laying there and laid there for a couple hours, and I finally start dozing off. And Luke had mentioned that the sleeping pad he was using, which is my husband's, was uncomfortable, and he wasn't comfortable at all. And after a couple of hours, he had complained again about it. Not that he was complaining a lot, because he wasn't. He was a total trooper. He said, "Mom, I'm really uncomfortable." I was like, "Well, I'm not giving you my pad. Sorry." And I told him, I said, "Do you want to hike out of here?" And at this time, it was probably around 9-ish. And he said, kind of shrugged his shoulders, and he's like, "No, I'll be alright." And I laid down and I started dozing off, and then about half an hour later he said, "Do you want to hike out of here?" And I said, "We can hike out of here, Luke. If you're really uncomfortable, we can hike out of here. We can go home, you can sleep in bed, and I'll buy you a different pad for next time." So we started packing up our stuff on the inside of the tent. We're still inside the tent, and we're putting, our shoes, getting our socks on, and he's putting his pant legs back on his convertible pants. And outside of the tent, we hear cat noises, like meowing, kind of like meow, meow, meow. I've never encountered a mountain cat. They're cats. I assume they meow. And it sounded almost exactly like my domestic cat that is a part Maine Coon cat, which is a mountain cat just in Maine, but we domesticated them. So my eyes get big. Luke's eyes get big. We turn the light off, and it's out. It's obviously in our camp. Like, it's close. And I look at Luke, and he's like, "That's a cat." And I said, "Well, there's no kitty cats out here." And he's like, I know, Mom. That's a cat. He said, yes, it is. And we sat there silently while this cat kept meowing around our campsite. And we were just quiet for a minute. Here we are ready to hike out of here. And now we're sitting in our tent going, do we just sit here all night? Or do we wait until we don't hear him anymore and we hightail it out of here? So after a few minutes, we don't hear anything. And since I'm the parent, I got up and grabbed the flashlight and hopped out of the tent and looked around, and I saw nothing anywhere. So we got up and we started packing our stuff up. We put it all away and we start walking out. We get down across the creek and we start heading up the trail to the backside of the mountain. So we're heading uphill so we can get out of there. The trail is fairly narrow. It's one person only, and there's bushes on both sides. So there's really no place to go up, down, just the trail. Luke stops in his tracks and says, oh my God, there's eyes in the trail in front of us. There's a cat. And I was like, what? He's like, there's a cat, Mom, there's a cat in the trail. And then he said, oh my God, it's walking towards us, What do we do? Turn around, go back. And I was like, calm down. I was freaking out. My adrenaline was going. I'm not going to lie. And I said, Luke, we can't back down. We can't go back down. There's nowhere to go. It's trail. It's just going to follow us if we back down. I said, what are you seeing? And I stand next to him and he says, you don't see those eyes right there? I said, I don't see anything. Luke, I do not see anything. He's like, they're right there. He's like, now there's only one. Oh, now there's two. And then I got in front of him because he hikes faster than me, a little faster than me, but he was stopping and waiting for me because I told him don't get too far ahead because I don't want it to be separated at night. So I get in front of him and I start walking. It was an owl. A baby owl at that. These owls hopped in front of us the whole way. And every time we would come around a corner and see eyes, he would panic. I just didn't laugh because I know there are cats out there, and there obviously was one in our camp, but hindsight now, it's a little funny, but I was a little freaked out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I was freaked out. And I'll tell you what, I told Luke when we got to the top and we were heading downhill, I said, man, that hike up really wasn't as bad as the hike up coming in here. And he's like, Mom, it was probably the adrenaline. And because we just flew up that hill. And no joke, we got from Paddles, from where we were camping, which was near the cross of, just before it turned, the Paddlesnap Cave trail turns up and goes toward the cave. There's a couple trees, and we were camped underneath there. It was a really awesome campsite. But we got from there all the way to the car in an hour with our packs on. With me falling because my shoes got wet because we had to cross the creek, and it was a little muddy, and I walked over a boulder and slipped and hurt my knee. So even with all that, we still got out of there in an hour. And that's why I'm waking up here. And that's why there really wasn't a whole lot of footage. There wasn't a whole lot of footage on the way up because my phone was in the back of my pack and Luke was a mountain goat and flied up the mountain, left me in the dust, his old mom. So I didn't want to take my pack off and to get my phone, so I just didn't record going up. So there's a little bit of footage, not a lot, but that's our story of Luke's first overnighter, which ended up not being an overnighter. I'm gonna have to take him back. But this time I think I'm gonna take some kind of air horn, just in case, just to keep Lucas, yeah. And maybe I'll hike in front, because I can't see crap at night, so I won't get scared unless I'm like right on top of it. It's funny because my husband's like, when I texted him when we got into Kernville, when I had cell phone service, and said, we're in Kernville, we're on our way home. This was at after 11. And he calls, of course, and says, what happened? And I tell him what happens, and he says, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna hike the PCT? How are you gonna hike the PCT? I was like, well, there's groups of people at night. You know, there's more than one person. There's usually 3 or 4. I said, I'll get used to it. This just was my first little experience hearing a cat, you know, in the wild. Never seen it. Oh, I have seen a bobcat in the wild before, over the coast, but with my mom. And I've seen a bear. The bear was fun too. That was an experience. I'll have to tell you about that one on a different day. But yeah, so that was mine and Luke's first backpacking trip together. That ended up not really an overnighter. We kind of day camped. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, I still got a lot of training to do, because after 2.5 miles, I was spent. But that climb out of the canyon is no joke, especially with a 25-pound pack on your back. But if I'm going to be doing 5 days on Ray Lake Sloop, I remember Glen Pass. That thing was no joke. That's hard. So if I'm going to be doing 10 miles a day, I got to get my rear in gear. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later. See you next time.